Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's go back a little bit to Darius Cozmic Collection Arcade. Okay, Locanos, you just want just Darius Gaiden, huh? Darius Gaiden. I own this game on the Saturn, and the Saturn conversion is very, very, very faithful to the arcade version. Really, outside of the resolution, wasn't much difference between the two. Although I think they added some tweaks to the difficulty on the Saturn version. But regardless, if you have a Saturn and you want to own this game physically, well, you're going to be paying a lot. You're going to be paying for that one game for, more than this game collection digitally. So just bear that in mind. Although it was really good, and the Saturn was a great system. Still a great system, actually the Saturn for me is still, of the PlayStation and Saturn releases, I generally liked the Saturn games more than the PlayStation 1 games. But there were fewer games, and I think the majority of people were much more fan of the PlayStation. For lots of good reasons. It just happens to be that for me, the games on the Saturn were the kind of games I happen to like, and I didn't have that problem with the quantity of the games. And the good thing about this version is that it's the arcade version, and you get save states. I already screwed it up. This is already not the way that I should be playing this. I know, after having a little bit weaker of a showing for music with Supernova, I mean, Santana really came back really, really well with this soundtrack. It's so unusual. I know, it's actually not that helpful to capture the bosses, but it's just something to do. Kind of fun. It's such a relaxing piece of music for a shooter. Oh boy, I don't know what's going to happen here. Okay, so I think we went the lower path last time, so let's try the upper path this time. I don't remember. I had to watch my own content. Like, how am I going to do that? I can't stand watching myself. It's the same thing with my music. I can't stand listening to my own music. Because I'm always thinking about the mistakes I make, and most people don't care about mistakes in music. If anything, they feel it adds more charm to it, depending on what kind of person you are. It's kind of interesting to think, too, that although this game has a polygon look to it, they're still just sprites. They just drew them in a way that gives them polygon appearances. The upper path, I think, I don't know. And then we'll try to go through the middle, I think. Maybe we should just do the top. I don't know. It's cool how the music just flows from one part of the level into another. You know, it's not just a hard break and then it plays another song like all the previous games and the newer games in the series. This is something that you could just like sit at home and listen to. You know, even outside of the game. At least I think so. I don't know. I find it really peaceful. Maybe not appropriate for, you know, blowing everything up on the screen, but sounds good. And of course on the Saturn it was all, I believe it was Red Book Audio on the Saturn. I don't know if they were using the Saturn sound chip to regenerate the sounds or not. I'd have to go look. I have to go back and look at my copy. And no, that is not something I would just know. See, that's cool. It darkens out the areas that you visited before, so it does keep track of it. So okay, so we'll go at the top this time. Yeah. One of those chunky sprites. It's a shame there wasn't like a 3-screen version of the game. But you know, being a single-screen game doesn't require a special cabinet. Gotta use my bombs. No point in keeping them. He's got a lot of hit points. Damn. I forgot how many hit points these bosses have. Damn it. Oh, going down power levels. Pretty soon I'll just be throwing wads of paper at it. Just be calling it names, and not particularly nasty ones. Oh, there's so many hit points. God, the arcade one's so hard. But it was meant to take your money, you know. I said that I believe they rebalanced it quite a bit on the Saturn. Then again, my memory's terrible with this other stuff. Yeah, let's just go all the way up. Oh, we didn't do that last time. Yeah, and Saturn games, they were not very fast-loading games, and this is one of the few games that the loading time was just a tiny bit more than the arcade. You know, it was very, very reasonable. Damn it. Just trying to control the damn thing. Get back here. Give me your power. Oh, well. That was worth it. Ah, damn it. Bus, really? Damn. I know, I wish it was like the original Darius where you could retain a certain level of power even after you died, but this one you just start all over. And I think the Saturn one gave you infinite continues. I think, or either that or you had to earn them. Else I don't remember exactly. It was one of those things where, like, back in those days, reviewers would actually score a game lower for giving you infinite continues because, you know, you could quote unquote, you know, beat it in one sitting. And it's just like, well, you certainly could do that, or you could just control yourself and not use continues. You know, it at least gives it the option to use continues to your heart's content or not to use continues to your heart's content. I never understood why that was a bad thing. Because I would certainly go back later and play this game with just a single continue, or with no continues, I should say. I don't think I ever played through this entire game with one life. I think I always had to die at least twice, I believe, in the heyday when I, you know, completely memorized this game, which obviously is not true anymore. Oh, that's right. Damn it. No place to hide. It was weird this series introduced the screen clearing bomb. You know, up until now, it was always skill based. You know, you didn't have a way to just you know, clear the screen of minor enemies. But then they made the overall levels a little bit more challenging. And I think that was the right decision. They were shooting lightning, did it not? Does it not shoot lightning? I'm thinking of one of the later games. Maybe Darius. Ah, son of a bitch. It's so hard. Screw you. Damn fishy. I think Z is the worst ending, like the worst ending. Well, let's see it anyway. I forgot. I was like, what? See, at this point, Darius was finally, I mean, like, you couldn't even tell the difference between Gradius and Darius at this point. You know, they used to have real distinct styles, but then I think in this game you started to see them sharing a lot of art styles. By coincidence, I mean, it's not like, I don't think they were, like, intentionally trying to look like the other series. They were competing series after all. Ah, listen to that music. It's so crazy. It's so strange for a shmup. It was really good. Ah, damn it. I'm gonna finish this game with like the pea shooter, I'm sure of it. And I think all these enemies are sea creatures. I think they kind of gave up on the non-sea creature thing. Darius Supernova slash Darius Force was the only one to really do that, I think. Possibly Darius Burst Chronicles brings those bosses back. I don't know, I mean, Burst Chronicles is like the best of all the Darius. Plus more, and more, and more. That's kind of cool effect, huh? Trying to get that sort of Super Nintendo tunnel effect from Castlevania. Ah, that's right. Oh boy, I'm glad it's continue based. Ah. Those cool sounds. Lasers sound awesome. Ah, damn it. Come away. Oh, is this 94? Oh, man. I mean, I sort of feel that the 32-bit era really wasn't a great era. It did, of course, have standout games, like every era does. But it was a lot of experimentation with games, and a lot of the genres were disappearing. You know, the shmup genre was, I think, pretty much completely dead by this point, with some rare games being made, like this game. But, you know, other games emerging, you know, role-playing games emerging, adventure games really, you know, kind of coming on their own. You know, much more, I don't know if they were longer experiences, but games that, you know, felt like they were more epic. You know, they had more variety in stages. And, you know, I'm not necessarily a fan of SAGAIA themselves. I mean, you know, AM2 and AM3 I definitely liked a lot. But Sonic Team, I mean, you know, Sonic Software Planning, Sonic Team, you know, any of those Sonic development teams, they were not really all that hot back in these days. Certainly Sonic Team certainly has never recovered. And now the best Sonic games are being made by developers that are, you know, fans of the game, who grew up with it, as opposed to the actual dedicated developers. Kind of sad to think about. Although in a way, we're seeing that from Nintendo too with Mario Maker. We're seeing, well, I don't know if better levels than Nintendo would make. Certainly more difficult ones. For people who love to punish themselves. Throwback boss fight. Hate you, fighter weapons. You suck. You're at least manageable in this game. Completely impossible in the original. Ah, damn it. Listen to Yamaha, the Yamaha trumpet. Ugh. Hard to be good at it. That's the sound of a good game, though. You know, it's like, man, it's hard to be good at it, but you can see yourself being good at it. You know. Still feel like you have a chance, even if you don't really. Ooh, fireworks. Zone K is over. We are now rushing into Zone P. I do wish there were more tracks. But, you know, the tracks here are really good. I think the piano also reminds me a lot of Phantasy Star Online. A fair amount of Phantasy Star Online. The original Phantasy Star Online, not the sequel that's currently out. They utilize a lot of Yamaha piano. Not so much on Phantasy Star 2 Online 2. All those musicians are gone now. I don't think anybody that worked on the music with this game is still at SAGAIA. I don't believe so. I believe they're contractors at this point in time. Yeah, again, much more manageable difficulty. So, you know, as you're dropping your quarters into it, you can still get pretty far, you know, off a $20 bill. Maybe not to the end. Certainly not the first time. Ah, screw you. Get out the garlic butter. Yeah, the bombs don't really, I mean, they give you advantage to clear the screen of bullets, but they really don't do much damage to the bosses, so you still have to have some skill in playing the game. Bastard. Zone Z. Oh, can I not get it? Damn it. Yeah, well, that's totally worth it. I think what they really nailed is the ship movement too. It moves just fast enough. That's what I also like about these older shmups is that they really varied the pace and the animation of all the enemies. You know, a lot of modern day shooters are just belt scrollers. You know, you can literally like. You know, you see just somebody like just pushing down the, holding the air, the down arrow down to scroll the screen and scroll enemies. Definitely not something I'm fond of. I see a lot of those games being developed though. You know, they share a lot of the same engine. And without a lot of dedicated work to a developer, it ends up making a lot of the games feel the same. Great thing. Oh, you're normally a pain in the ass, but strangely enough, you're on the easiest path this time around. Usually this damn sperm whale will give you the hardest time of all the bosses. Well, obviously he's no pushover, but probably the easiest of Great Thing boss battles in the history of Darius. Because in Darius Burst Chronicles, when you run into him, he's pretty hard to deal with. Oh, damn it. I forget there's no flip button. Wasn't the flip back in these days. At least not one that you triggered with a button. The ask this kit. Yes, monsieur. Oh, so brutal. Ah, great! It's the homing lasers. They're easy to fool, but every once in a while you'll get yourself in a situation that you can't avoid getting hit. No, really? Oh, these things are tough. How's a sperm whale doing with those spiral missiles anyway? I can understand the Chio lasers, but not the spiral missiles. I know, I don't want to just bomb bitch my way through it. I do actually want to really hit it. Cheetos! Or, I guess they're more cheese puffs. Although when I say the easiest of the Great Thing bosses, I mean, obviously still, he's not a pushover. He's just nowhere near as fast, or his projectiles are nowhere near as fast as they are in other games. Cheese puffs, and this was before the hot cheese puffs. The inferior cheese puff. When Great Thing was destroyed, the desolated scenery spreading out before their eyes disappeared like that a vision melted away, and also traces of struggle against enemies disappeared. Did the fight until now actually exist? What we have seen in the world, only the feeling of fatigue as if we... well, you guys can pause. Yeah, I love Darius Gaiden. My favorite still is Darius 1, followed by Darius Burst Chronicles. But this really is a great Darius. And as I said, it was nice getting a home conversion that didn't have to sacrifice a lot. So, certainly showed the power of the Saturn, although the game didn't really tax the Saturn that much. But it's something that that I think the PlayStation 1 would have really struggled with. But PlayStation 1 had a lot of other advantages, and you know the Saturn really just couldn't keep up with it at the time. Yeah, I never saw this game in the arcade, unfortunately. I said arcades were not completely dead, but they were certainly on their way during the heyday of when this game was released. I mean, I don't know. Not that many people were playing a lot of the 32-bit games. So it's not like nowadays where arcades are strictly targeted for adult consumption. You know, now that's all you really have is arcade games are in places where there are mainly adults. You know, like Dave and Buster's or places like that, and like all the pizza places, the kids' pizza places. You know, they only have like the ancient games. You know, the games that were new when I was born. I'm not sure how many kids are super jazzed about playing Pac-Man, especially the like the tabletop version of Pac-Man, right? Those tabletop games never made any sense to me. You know, you sit down, you look down at the screen, it's like a table, but not like you're gonna put your drink there. You're gonna block the screen. Uploading ranking to server. Yeah, don't bother. My low ass rank on this game. Congratulations, you used the most continuous of anybody else in the series. That wouldn't necessarily surprise me if that was true. Oh yeah, starting strong. I know it's unheard of for anybody nowadays because so many games are released, and at every price point you can imagine, the free game to the 99-cent game to the $89.99 game. But these days, you basically, if you wanted a home game, it was $60 always, regardless of what kind of game it was. So, I certainly played games over and over again, and nowadays I wouldn't even consider playing a game over again. There's just too many games to play, with some very, very rare exceptions. I mean, obviously for this channel I would play a game again, but just on my casual time, there's no need. Unless it's a remaster. Like I played Final Fantasy 12 and Final Fantasy 10 as remasters, and that was kind of fun to go back since it's been such a long time. But I mean, if you asked me to play a game that came out like earlier in the year again, I'd be like, hell no. Games nowadays have, they're padded with so much crap. The thought of doing, all those crappy fetch quests and Assassin's Creed, version any, it definitely doesn't appeal to me. But if you give me a new Assassin's Creed, even though they're the same crappy missions as they were in the last Assassin's Creed, I'll be like, oh, this feels like I could do this again. I know, my standards changed just because they put a different subtitle or a number after a game. I guess I know how guys who play Madden or FIFA, feel. Oh, the number's different. Wow, of course I'm gonna like it. Okay, so let's go C, and then we'll do C, E, H, L, QV. Let's try that. Ah, damn it. Damn it. Oh, I was doing okay there for a minute. Only for a minute. Oh well, I just pretend like it's Tinder or something. I'll just pretend I just made Abigail Johnson. It'll be just a minute. What's this damn starfish? Yeah, screw off, buddy. What are those supposed to be exactly? The scales, I guess? Big explosions. Explosions! Let's hit E. Eh? Oh, I totally forgot about this effect. Yes, cool stuff. Oh, I thought I got it, damn it. I'm gonna die before I can capture it. No, come back here! Ah, you suck. Starfish. Screw your starfish. Get your ass out of here. Ah, damn it. You know, I'm honestly surprised Midway hasn't, or Warner Brothers hasn't released like a Midway or Williams arcade collection again. Seems like it'd be about the right time for them to do it, but there's not even an announcement. I don't know, maybe they feel that nobody would buy it since it's been available before on other platforms, but people will still buy it. Even if you release it on every platform, they'll still buy the collections again. At least I will. I'm out of bombs, damn it. Just assumed that I had some. Oh, get it. Oh, I just wasted a bomb. Oh, well. Okay. H it is. Can I play H? No, no nudity in this one. Well, I guess the fish aren't wearing anything. Naked asteroids. Ah, Ugh, damn. Neon Light Illusion. No, sounds like a 70s band. With the latest hit single. 15 minutes long. Oh, no bombs. Just cannot hold on to that firepower. Damn it. Exposing his little claw very often. I need to see your claw. There we go. Wow, such a trippy effect. Cheese puffs. Ah! L. Be on your guard. I guess TAITO does some concerts every once in a while too. Apparently, apparently they have a really good show. That'd be hard as a fan, though, unless you're really paying attention to the. Ah, damn it! the name of the song that appears, you know, just for a brief second in the corner. Otherwise, it'd be like, yeah, could you play that song, ooey, ooh, 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 or how about yee, wee, 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 wee. Pretty sure that's the chorus. Ah, damn. I lost my focus for just a second. I mean, and I'm not good at the game. It's not just that I lost my focus. Double Dealer is approaching fast. Creepy fish eyes. I know, 32-bit era graphics, I mean, they're so easily recognizable. You know, you get the great 16-bit color, you know, the full range of 16-bit color, but then you still have some chunky sprites, you know, and even chunkier polygons. But like Treasure, like they just revel in giving you chunky sprites, you know, or things that look like chunky sprites. It does drive me nuts about them, even though I love their games. Although I haven't heard from them for a while now, so maybe I don't love their games anymore, who knows. Treasure's one of those companies, even when they have the capability of giving you, you know, crisp sprites, they just choose not to. They choose to give you, you know, 8-bit sprites that are scaled up to, you know, 64-bit. Their visual trademark, I guess. Although I don't like their visual trademark. What? Whoa, damn. Woohoo! Like throwing a fish death party. Yep. I know some people like to turn off the aliasing function and just have you know, raw, crisp sprites. But I don't really feel that represents the art that well, because the game was always intended to be viewed on CRTs. You know, with their high refresh rates, but you know, very poor clarity. So I sort of feel like the anti-aliasing look is probably closer to what it would have looked like in, you know, in the arcade, as opposed to turning off the aliasing and anti-aliasing and just leaving the raw sprites there. You know, the raw blockiness. You know, crisper looking, but I don't think the way it was intended to look. Damn, that was close. deadly crescent. It's taking this long to run into something that's just called a crescent. Ah, damn it. Ah. I know a fish named Michael Finnegan. Wow, what hit me? Ah, damn it. Oh, pink Cheetos. Rotten Cheetos. Ah, yeah, well, yeah, that was just dumb. I admit that was just dumb. Ah, damn it. Oh, I was trying to be so careful. Take that fish. Oh, catch and release for you. Alright. Let's hit V. A vet. Zone vet. Deadly spinning tops, man. Ugh. Oh, bendy lasers. Ah, so you hear that they're developing another monkey ball? I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, of course I want to play another monkey ball. But I don't want, like, any of the people that have designed any other monkey balls besides 1 and 2 to go anywhere near it. Just have the levels be fan-made, you know? Yeah, bullets, bullets, bullets. Risk storage. Oh, floppy drive, basically. Oh, look at this crazy thing. What kind of fish looks like this? I definitely would not eat this fish. Damn fish has a tail. Ooh. Oh. Oh, God, let me right into it. Sneaky fish. superhuman can avoid that. Jeez. Not me. Not me. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, let's see what incredibly fast-moving ending this is going to be. In the bottom of the Dark Sea, the last enemy was in hiding. The ugly and furious enemy falled away and was drowned at sea after string battles. After finishing safety their duties, they were about to enter last. Okay, so bad end basically. What are we at here for time? Ooh boy, it's almost been an hour. I guess I'll do this again with the rest of the routes. But why don't we stop there for now? This is audap. You've been watching Darius Cozmic Collection Arcade, of which you know, this is Darius Gaiden from that collection. I think a lot of people play this on the Saturn, but I also think that it was fairly successful as an arcade game, if I remember correctly. I don't think it was that expensive to purchase or release back in the day. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.